Good afternoon, YouTube. My name is Emily, and today I'd like to go over some books I'd like to read in the month of May. If anyone is watching this, please let me have some subscribers, please. And you have some recommendations of maybe some of these that I should prioritize over others, or any input on some of these books, I'd love to hear it, so please comment if anyone's watching. The first that I have is The House on Mango Street by Sandra Cisneros. This is about a young Latina woman growing up in Chicago and finding her way in life, I think. This was required reading in high school, but for some reason I never read it. I'm not sure, but I'd like to read it now. It's supposed to be incredibly good and an incredibly popular book, so we'll see. The next one that I have, which I feel is very springtime-ish, is The Jungle Book by Rudyard Kipling. Now, I've seen Mowgli, the cartoon, more times than I care to even tell you guys, because it was one of my favorite cartoons growing up. I loved it. I've not yet read the story, which is really strange, so I'd like to read the story of Mowgli. The next book I have in mind, which seems thick for spring, is Madame Bovary by Gustave Flaubert. I have to say Flaubert. This is supposed to be a great work. It is supposed to be rich and detailed. I'd love to get into it. It seems like something that would just absorb a weekend, and I would really like to see what the fuss is all about with this one. The books are falling down. The next book I have is by Jules Verne. It is Journey to the Center of the Earth. It is a short book, and this is considered a young children's book, or younger reading book. I have not read it, and I would like to get into this one this month as well. Now, some of these other books I have are behemoths. This one is huge. This is Steinbeck, A Life in Letters, and as you can see from my fuzzy pom-pom bookmark, I am about 108 pages into this already. This is Steinbeck's letters. Steinbeck was known for his letters. He was a master letter writer. He wrote letters to everyone all the time. And this is a collection of them, starting from his youngest to his oldest letter. And I would say this is probably for fans of Steinbeck only. Although, I was thinking about this, if you haven't read many of Steinbeck or haven't read any of Steinbeck and you read his letters first, you probably get a sense of who this man was and probably interpret his reading better. So maybe this would be something to read before you read his other ones. This one is The Complete Poems of Edgar Allan Poe. It doesn't have a dust jacket, it's pretty small. After reading The Rime of the Ancient Mariner by Samuel Taylor Coleridge, I just did a review on this channel of that, I am into some poetry. And I have read quite a few of Poe's poems, but not all of them. So I think I'll just maybe, along with the letters of Steinbeck, maybe just get through a few of these at night as well. The next one is also thick. Not sure if I'm going to be able to do all these. This is Emma by Jane Austen. And what is more spring than Jane Austen? When you think of spring, it's like Jane Austen on the English countryside with lavender in her hair. Hello! So awkward on this channel. Anyway, I was thinking about reading this one on Audible. Is that cheating? Is Audible cheating? I don't know. I like Audible. Actually, I love Audible. I was thinking about reading this one on Audible to try to get through some of the other ones. So I think that's my plan for May, is to listen to Emma on Audible. I think it's narrated by Rosamund Pike, who also narrated Pride and Prejudice, and she was Jane in the movie Pride and Prejudice, the actress. She has a wonderful voice, so I'm excited about that one. Now, this one I'm on the fence about. This is William Faulkner. I've never read any William Faulkner. And this one, I'm not sure is a good place to start. It's Absalom, Absalom, and it's supposed to be intense and dark. I don't know if that's very spring-like, but if anyone's read this and think I should give it a go, please let me know. We're getting down the last few books here. George Orwell, Animal Farm. I've read this before, and when I read it before, I don't think I got the full experience from this book before. It is about the beloved and loathed pig Napoleon, who becomes quite the dictator of a farm. And I liked it when I read it, but I want to reread it to see how people say it applies to politics even more so in today's world. So I'd like to see if that's true. When I read it, I was pretty young and not really into politics. The next book I have that I may wait till June or July to read is The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. I've heard this is very feminist. I saw the first episode of the series on HBO. Is it HBO? I don't know if it's HBO actually. I didn't really like it. I didn't give it a chance. Maybe if I give it a chance, I'll like it, or maybe I'll like the book a little bit more. I may or may not read this. If anyone's read this and really loved it, which it does have a huge following, let me know if you think I should read it. And lastly is The Yellow Wallpaper by Charlotte Perkins Gilman. I have read this before. This is super short, little short story about a woman with a mental illness and what her husband and husband/doctors do to her. This is back in the day. They put her in a room. She's not to draw, write, read, think. She's supposed to just lay in this room and get over her mental illness. And that's a horrible way, and we've come a long way since then. And it's sort of what happens to her as a result of this isolation and just sort of being catatonic all day. It's about what she starts to see in this yellow wallpaper, or whom she starts to see in this yellow wallpaper that she hates at first, but then she grows to love because she's staring at it all day. And it was very good, and I just want to reread it because I really liked it. And that's it. If anyone has any suggestions of how I should prioritize these, or if I should take certain ones out, or maybe add a book for spring, can you all let me know in the comments, just so I know someone is out there in the internet world watching me? Thank you. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.